Um,
Hare Krishna.
can I request everyone to please switch on their videos? The condition of this class is video should be on. Um, others are getting ready today, that's fine. But from the next class, if the video is not on, admin may ask you to leave or they may kick you out himself or herself. Before we start, just like to introduce the admins of this group. You can see Yash Prabhu. Prabhuji, you can raise your hand. So this is our Sydney Yash Prabhu, and we have Garima Mataji who was singing nicely. Hare Krishna. So she's from Adelaide. So these two devotees look after all the admins. So if you have any inquiries in the beginning, you can ask them, or you can also ask me. If you don't have my phone number, Yash Prabhu, maybe you can publish it later. And also my email address, if you can publish, so if you can ask, have any inquiries. Now, before we start, many of you have seen in the temple, but I may not know much about you. So maybe you can just do a quick intro of each person before we start, so we know each other, because we're going to stay together probably for 3 years, roughly speaking. So it's good to know each other's names. So if you can introduce your name or spiritual name, whatever. We just want your spiritual CV, not the material one. So we just introduce your name. If you are initiated, yeah, please tell your initiated name. And if you have your Guru Maharaj's name with you, you can say that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Also, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, my initial name is, spiritual name is Supriya Jamvati Devi Dasi.
Okay.
I am disciple of His Holiness Jai Pataka Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
I
Mata.
got initiation from Delhi ISKCON temple. Yeah, I wanted to do Bhakti Sastri I thought about it 4 years before, but yeah, it was not successful this time.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
No
Thank
problem.
you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Good to know, Mataji. Also, I couldn't complete my thoughts. If you could also just say how long you've been associated with ISKCON, how many times you have read Bhagavad Gita. Because if you have not read Bhagavad Gita, this course may not be suitable for you. So we expect all of you to have been read Bhagavad Gita at least twice. If more, it's better. Because this is Bhakti Shastri course. It's not an introduction to Bhagavad Gita course. It's not Bhakti Vriksha course. So if you have not read it yet, I strongly recommend, get through the whole book page to page with all the purports ASAP while we are continuing the initial phases of Bhakti Shastri. So, okay, if we can start from Premanand Prabhu. He's on the top of the screen. And we'll just go in the whole room. There are some students which are from the previous batch, which is fine. They can also introduce themselves because this is going to be our new full batch. Okay, Premanand Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. My name is Premananda Kirtan Das. I'm the disciple of His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj. And I've been in ISKCON for 6 years and a half. And I've read Bhagavad Gita for roughly maybe 4 times.
Haribol. Very nice. And also one request, thoughts are coming to my mind. If you could also tell what's your current service, roughly, that will be nice as well, in the temple or in your community. And Prabhu, Premanand Prabhu, you're from Sydney, I know. So if you could also say if you're from outside, that will just good to know each other. That's all. And Premanand Prabhu plays very, very nice flute, and he sings very nicely. I've heard it personally. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, Yash Prabhu. You're on mute, Prabhuji.
Sorry, Prabhu, I was unable to mute. Yep. Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat pranams to everyone. So I'm mostly doing the kitchen service, not yet initiated, but maybe soon. And I have read Bhagavad Gita 5 times. That's all. Thank you.
Yash Prabhu is one of the most hardworking devotee in Sydney temple. Everyone knows Yash Prabhu. No projects goes without Yash Prabhu, from kitchen to management. Thank you, Prabhuji. Garima Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
I'm from Adelaide. Initially, I was in Bangalore. We just moved to Adelaide 6 months back. So in Bangalore, I used to do the Abhishekam Seva, and I'm not initiated yet. I was in Abhishekam ring, and I have read Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita 2 times.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Shishant Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
I'm
Krishna.
probably the most unknown devotee here because it hasn't been very long that I started. I am from Sydney. I finished Bhagavad Gita once, but so whatever service I get in the temple, in the kitchen, doing kirtan, maybe helping out devotees, I do that with all my heart. And yeah.
Hare Krishna. How long you been coming to temple, Prabhu?
For roughly 5-6 months.
Haribol, thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
It hasn't been long, Prabhuji.
That's all right. Ghanshyam Prabhu has such a nice words about all the youth. He said they are the cream of our youth. They work super hard, and I've seen most of you in the temple. So it's not the length, it's the sincerity. So very nice, Prabhu. Ayush Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam to everybody. So I'm currently not initiated. My name is Ayush Mukherjee. I've been in Krishna consciousness for above a year now. I've read Bhagavad Gita nearly 2 times, and third time was just a little brief. I've still not completed it. My services are I run Bhagavad Gita youth classes. I used to run them on Saturdays as well as on Wednesdays. But on advice from a lot of my mentors, I was told that it's better to get more in-depth knowledge, and then I can be more effective in my preaching. So hence I decided to give up the Wednesday preaching and take up Bhakti Sastri so I can understand it. I also on weekends go for book distribution on and off. And yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. Rajesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dhanavad Pranam. My name is Rajesh Chaudhary, and yeah, I'm currently in Sydney. So I've been with ISKCON. It's been around like 6 years, I guess, and I've read Gita roughly around three times from.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. You come to temple quite often?
Yes, I do.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very nice. Anand Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm based in Adelaide. I just spoke to Ghanshyam Prabhu maybe like half an hour ago, and he agreed to get me on board. So thanks to you and your team, and Ghanshyam Prabhu, of course. Yeah, I am based here in Adelaide. I have been in ISKCON on and off maybe for 12 years, but initiated for 9 years. And I also save on the altar. I help my wife with making sweets, and we are running a Bhakti Vriksha group as well for the last 9-10 weeks. And I thought it's about time I did Bhakti Shastri. Was thrown at deep end very early stage, joining the management, but then I gave up those positions and then got more serious with devotion. Yeah, and my Guru Maharaj is His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Very nice. Thank
Yeah,
you,
and my
Prabhuji.
wife also does the same services, but she is a bit under pump from her job side at this hour. So otherwise she would have joined me. We tried a couple of times. We registered, but didn't move too much ahead with it. But this time we reckon it's about time we did it.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Meera Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I have been into ISKCON, I would say, whole of my life. My father was initiated, and he always encouraged me, and we always went around the temple, but I'm not initiated. For Bhagavad Gita, I read it when I was 8 years old, and I read it twice after that, and I still read it, like I continuously read it every day. I feel it's like that's how I start my day. I moved to Sydney last year only. I'm from Fiji, and I'm a chartered accountant. in my profession.
Hare Krishna. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Divya Mataji. Hare Krishna, Divya Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. We
Okay,
can
thank
hear
you.
you.
Because when you said Divya, I don't know.
No, we had another Divya Mataji. I'm not sure she is here today. I think
Okay,
she has
okay.
finished the course recently,
That's
so
so
maybe
nice.
she is not here. Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for taking up these classes. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. My name is Divya Gupta Devi Dasi. I'm disciple of His Holiness Sabir Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I've been with ISKCON for over a decade and initiated a couple of years back, and then started. I did Bhakti Shastri, but I want to learn now more deep. So that's why I joined again. So thank you so
Welcome.
much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So if you guys have any question, go to Divya Mataji.
No.
She's already done it. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mata. Keshav Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'm not initiated. My name is Keshav Joshi. How long I'm associated with ISKCON is roughly around 6 to 7 years. Actually, I'm associated with Baman Kshetra, which I'm not sure if everyone knows in southwestern Sydney. Definitely affiliated to North Sydney Temple. And how many times I read Bhagavad Gita? Maybe 4-5 times, not quite sure. But how much I know, I don't know as well. Hare Krishna.
No problem. Very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Acharya Nishtha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam. I will
Hare
let
Krishna.
Ira speak first, probably.
Yes.
Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Ira. I'm not initiated yet. We have been associated with ISKCON and Maman Kshetra since 2015. And we've been doing services as part of Maman Kshetra since then. And Bhagavad Gita, like we have read on and off, maybe 1 or 2 times.
Okay, that's fine.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam to all. So my name is Acharya Nishtha Das. I'm also a disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And we both live in Sydney. And yeah, similar to what Ira has said. And yeah, no such qualification as yet, spiritually, but we read Bhagavad Gita as it comes through. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Preeti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare
Dhanavad
Krishna
Pranam
Mata. Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
All glories to Prabhupada. So my name is Preeti Bhujil. It's been like 2.5 years in ISKCON, and I'm not initiated it. And I have read Bhagavad Gita just one time, and I'm
Okay.
still learning.
We're all learning. Learning will never finish. Thank you, Mataji. Krishna Vallabha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
My name is Krishna Vallabha Devi Dasi. I'm disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj and Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. I did join this course last year, but I have just due to various commitments, I couldn't finish the course. I'm part of the previous batch, but I haven't. So I'm just trying to complete in this course. I've read Bhagavad Gita a few times before with Prabhuji as well. And I'm looking forward to complete this time. That's the only blessings I need from this.
Hare Krishna. She's been studying Bhagavad Gita, just for everyone's knowledge, for at least 10 years. At least, if I'm not wrong, maybe more. She's so keen. She finishes one time, she comes back another time as well. Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna, Mataji, I don't see your name on the screen, and I don't know your name. It says iPhone. You can introduce yourself.
Is it me?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
My name is Ansu, and I've been connected to ISKCON since 2 years. And I've read Bhagavad Gita 2 times, and I'm still reading now. I'm in half. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Mata. Very nice. Soumya Mataji, you have already introduced yourself. Thank you. Rasanand Prabhu is gone. Sundar Gopal Prabhu. He is the person everyone should know. He is like literally the group admin. He runs the whole show behind the scene. If he's not there, we get scared. So
Hare
Sundar
Krishna
Gopal
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Hare Krishna
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Then we pronounce. Prabhuji is saying something for someone else. It's not me actually.
Definitely you.
No, so I've been associated with ISKCON for almost, let's say, 5 years now. Disciple of His Holiness Kadambakanand Swami Maharaj. Being in the southwest part of Sydney, I am associated with Baman Kshetra. I don't do any services as such. I mean, if there's something happening sometimes, I may go and lend some hand, but otherwise, I'm pretty much occupied in not many things, to be honest. So I'm still learning, trying to learn from everyone around, all of you people. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhu was the group admin in the last batch, and I did not let him go, so I dragged him again. I said, Prabhu, you have to come. So he's very kindly joining again and helping us out in many things which happens behind the scene. Thank you, Prabhu. Rasanand Prabhu, sorry, we missed you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Vandavats Pranam.
Pranam.
Thanks for giving the opportunity to be in association with you all. I, Rasananda Gopal, a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, was part of the previous batch, but just to keep the association, I requested Prabhu whether I could attend this course and then continue till I take up another service. So, not much service I do. I do some running some Bhakti study, Bhagavad Gita study group and some Bhakti Viksha on weekly basis. So, thank you, Prabhu. It's very inspiring to see a lot of young devotees there.
Yes, Prabhuji. They're all Ghanshyam Prabhu's hard work. We'll come to it in a minute. Thank you, Prabhuji. Surupi Kalindi Mataji and Giriraj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
My name is Rupni Kalindi Devidasi, and we both got initiated from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj last year. And I have been in ISKCON since I got married, that is 15 years. So, and we have read like full Bhagavad Gita once, but like on and off.
We have read a lot of important shlokas, like
Yeah,
so many times. So,
Your name?
Hare Krishna, everyone. My name is Giriraj Achyutadas, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. I am in with ISKCON since the age of 16, and Garima is my younger sister, so she haven't said that, but we are kind of, our teen was in ISKCON. But we are going to temple from age of 14, 15 until, but last few years made us serious about our bhakti. So we have taken Guru Shelter and then taken initiation. I do lot of services with Vaman Kshetra. Whatever service they told me to do, we do it in our area. We try our best to preach, but whatever Vaman Kshetra says, like we follow that. That's it. Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Charu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat Pranam. I'm Charu Deshna Radhika, disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. I was doing this course with Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu just in the previous batch, but I'm so inspired by him, so I decided to join the second batch as well. I read the Bhagavad Gita
Most welcome.
few times, but the essence still eludes me, still trying to understand it. As services, I do no service at all. I'm just so involved in my day-to-day material life. I just don't have time for any service. So that's me. Thank you, Hare Krishna. But I just want to say to the whole youth group and the people who just joined in this batch that you're very fortunate. You have Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu to lead you and guide you. It's going to be a very, very enjoyable journey for the next 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. Take full advantage. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. You are setting a very high expectation. This youth is being trained by Ganesham Govindadas, so he's a super high devotee. We'll see how.
The fact that he handed the whole team under your able guidance just speaks a lot about you, Prabhu. So
We'll see how we go. Please give your blessings, Mataji. Okay, we have Asha Mataji. Hare Krishna, if you want to.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
I have read Bhagavad Gita once in my life, but could not understand anything. So I just want to understand what it is from you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Sorry, Shobhit Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
thank you.
I've been associated with ISKCON for some time and trying to read Bhagavad Gita, don't understand anything. Services as well. Just here and there, that's all.
Prabhu works very hard in kitchen seva every Sunday. So very inspiring, Prabhuji. Thank you. Mayadhish Prabhu. I didn't know your uninitiated names as yet. First
Hare
time
Krishna.
reading. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavad pranams, all glories to everyone on this call. My name is Mayadhish Chaitanya Das. I got initiated in the year 2011. It was my good fortune that I got initiated by Jagannath Swami Maharaj. I've been associated with ISKCON from the time I can remember. I find myself useful doing Kirtan service and also eating prasad, listening to lectures as well. And I've heard Bhagavad Gita a lot of times, but maybe I've read it once or twice with interest, to be honest. I'm really keen to join this journey with the group of devotees under tutelage of Hemanga Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Sanjay Vyas, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. All devotees done with pranams. My name is Sanjay Vyasdas. I'm a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. I've tried reading Bhagavad Gita a few times. However, the essence and the instructions elude me. So I'm keen to sort of understand the essence and under the guidance of His Grace Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu and in the association of all of you. I don't have a regular service, so to say, but whenever there's an opportunity to perform some devotional service, I try to help where I can. Hare Krishna.
Selan Prabhu. Is that how you pronounce, Prabhuji, your name?
Yes, Prabhu, you can pronounce anyway.
No. Whatever is popular way. Selan.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Dhanat
Krishna.
Pranam. My name is Salon. I'm not initiated yet. So it's been almost, I think, more than, we can say 2 years I've been coming to ISKCON. And I have read Bhagavad Gita one time fully. And like just few verses sometimes. Like some days I read verses like that. So for talking about my services, I don't have any regular services. Just sometimes on classes, if Kansan Prabhu is not there, I just organize sometime, or else I don't have any regular services. That's Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Anju Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavad Pranam. My name is Anju, and I have been to ISKCON for like more than a year. And I have read Bhagavad Gita once, and I have started like second time, but this time I'm trying to go through like word by word and like sentence by sentence and trying to understand it more. But then like I just saw that Bhakti Sastri class is running, and I thought like it would be more fruitful if I learn from like senior devotee or guru. So that's why I've joined this. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mata. Okay, Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. So thank you for this opportunity. I've been waiting for these classes. I've read Bhagavad Gita twice, but by Hemanga Prabhu's mercy, I can understand it this time, finally. Also, with my regular service, I'm very fortunate to be able to engage in Harinams over my weekends. And yeah, just looking forward for these classes and learning more from Prabhu. He's always been inspiring me to, like, whenever he meets me, is like for chanting and reading. So big inspiration. Thank you, Prabhu. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna. Somehow my screen is frozen. I'll try. My Zoom screen is, I can't scroll. I know there are other devotees on the other screen. Can you just introduce yourself? I think it was Apeksha Mataji, if I'm not wrong. Hare Krishna. My Zoom screen is completely frozen. Okay, I'll try again. Okay, I can see again. Have we gone through everyone? There's one more Mataji. Okay. No worries. So let's start. Everyone can see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
We
Prabhu.
can
Hare
see your
Krishna.
screen.
So it's time for my introduction, which is not worthy of listening, but I will say because it's etiquette. So my name is Hemanga Caitanya Das. I am a disciple of His Holiness Kadam Kanan Maharaj. Very fortunate to be his disciple. I got initiation in 2008, and I've been going to temple from last century. I still don't know much. 1999, I started my journey in ISKCON Brisbane, and then I moved to Sydney in 2000. So since then, I've been going to the Radha Gopinath temple, so around 25 years in this temple. But still learning. I don't have any regular seva except some speaking seva. So this is where I am. And yeah, sometimes I go some temple help on festivals as well. Now, before anything else, if anyone has any question regarding the course, so what my plan is to do today, just introduce the course. Some of you may already know it, many of you may not know it. So I'll just introduce the course, what this course is about, what we're going to cover in this course. What is the purpose of course? What does Prabhupada say about this course? And what does Prabhupada say about any Shastric study? So it's very good to know all these things before we enter inside the Bhakti Shastri. So the plan is today we'll just probably do the introduction of the course, and maybe we'll try to do preface or introduction of Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada has written setting the scene, introduction and preface of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll try to cover all that in the first two classes, and probably in week 3 we'll start actual Bhagavad Gita from 1.1. And if you have any time, any question, please raise your hand and then we'll try to answer that. So this is our Bhakti Shastri course. So I'm sure you know about it, that we are going to cover, sorry, my screen keeps freezing. Okay, it's back now. So we're covering these 4 books in Bhagavad Gita. So primarily, we all know about Bhagavad Gita, obviously, which is the biggest book in this course, but we also cover Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and Sri Ishopanishad, which are relatively smaller books. So roughly speaking, Bhagavad Gita will take around 2/3 of the portion of the whole duration of the course, and 1/3 duration will be spent in other 3 books. This course, no need to say this, but we are exclusively saying this is dedicated to Srila Prabhupada because he's our founder Acharya. So we dedicate this Bhakti Shastri course to Srila Prabhupada, who intended that his disciples and followers diligently study and apply. So it's not just a study. Many times we study, we know a lot, but gaining knowledge is not the purpose of this course. Yeah, through the knowledge, we are trying to come closer to devotees, to Vaishnavas, to Srila Prabhupada, and eventually to Krishna. So that's the purpose of the course, because this movement is not about being scholarly. This movement is about becoming Krishna conscious. So through these studies of Prabhupada books, Prabhupada commentaries, our Acharya's commentaries, we are trying to come closer to Krishna eventually. So please remember that goal in your mind when we are pursuing this course and apply his teachings for the welfare of all, including us. So what does Prabhupada say on studying his books? I have a couple of quotes of Prabhupada. Maybe we can read some quotes together and just discuss it so we understand what Prabhupada said about studying his books. So I have the first quote if anyone want to read. Anand Prabhu?
Srila Prabhupada on studying the books. I'm very much stressing at this point that all of my students shall be very much conversant with the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, and that they should read our books very diligently, at least 1 or 2 hours daily, and try to understand the subject matter from varieties of angles.
Yes,
Letter
so
to Madhud Visa, Los Angeles, 16 June 72.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Prabhupada very clearly saying he wants us to study the books from different angles. So if you hear one Bhagavatam verse class from some speaker, if you hear the same verse from another speaker, you will see a completely different class many times. So because Prabhupada wanted us to listen this philosophy from different angles so that our spiritual vibrations can grow nicely and can understand it, the real message. And Prabhupada is saying we have to read recommendation at least 1 or 2 hours every day. So if you are already doing it, that's very nice. If you're not doing it, try to make an average. We'll talk about the sadhana card little later, but yeah, if on an average we are able to read at least 1 hour a day, that's a very nice setting. Otherwise, it's difficult to deal with the material energy. Next one. Anyone can read, but yeah, if you don't respond, then Premanand Prabhu.
In my books, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness is explained fully. So if there is anything which you do not understand, then you simply have to read again and again. By reading daily, the knowledge will be revealed to you, and by this process, your spiritual life will develop. Letter to Bahuru, Bombay, 22nd November 1974.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So you would have experienced it by now. Many times you don't understand Bhagavad Gita, and many devotees were saying, and that is true as well. But you just have to read again and again, listen again and again. And many times, many questions get answered by the repetition of that knowledge. So repetition is one of the keys. Now, what Prabhupada said on Bhakti Shastri, many times some people have this misconception that Bhakti Shastri started recently. Prabhupada never introduced it. This is wrong misconception. Prabhupada himself has introduced all the Shastric degrees, and we have a lot of pramans. There's few on the screen here. Preeti Mataji?
One who will pass the examination will get the title Bhakti Sastri. Krishna is the supreme and we are fragmental path. We are fragment eternally. These things are explained in Bhagavad Gita in different places very nicely. I request you all to keep one copy of this Bhagavad Gita. Everyone of you and read it carefully, and there will be examination in the coming September. So of course that is voluntarily, but I request you to prepare for the examination next September, and one who will pass the examination will get the title Bhakti Sastri.
Haribol. So exams are coming in September already. Prabhupada is announcing it. So this is Prabhupada talking 1968. So he established ISKCON in 1966. Just after 2 years, he's making these degrees. So nothing is new. Everything is introduced by Prabhupada himself. And he's talking about examination and all that. Now here Prabhupada is saying examination is voluntary. So obviously it's voluntary, but it's compulsory at the same time. So we'll explain you about the examinations as well soon. Someone else can read. Keshav Prabhu?
You'll get you will get designation Bhakti Shastri. Designation Bhakti Shastri. So you read carefully Bhagavad Gita. Everything is there. Every word, every line is so. I mean to say, instructive. It is simply that is the basic principle of spiritual knowledge. Now we have presented. Everyone of you should very carefully read. Every one of you must have one book and read it carefully and appear in the examination next Janmashtami. You will get designated definitely after August.
Very well. Thank you, Prabhuji. Next one, someone else. Ayush Prabhu.
They're going to get the title Bhakti Sastri. So this initiation means to enter transcendental life. Why? Now to make a solution, complete solution of this material existence. This is called illusion. Adau Gurvasyam Saddharma Prachad Sadhu Marganu Gamam. You will read all these things in our book, the Nectar of Devotion and the Bhagavad Gita also. You should read all these books and appear in the next year examination. Just like this year, so many boys have appeared. They're going to get the title Bhakti Shastri. So utilize your life. Initiation letter, London, August 22nd, 1971.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Prabhupada talking about in 1968, 1971. So Prabhupada is constantly emphasizing on reading books very, very carefully and systematically and appear in the exam and get the title as well. Last one on this page, anyone?
I will never die. I live in my books. The day after Prabhupada arrived, a press conference was held with all the major newspapers and television stations represented. Sitting under the glare of TV lights in the large Berkeley temple room, Prabhupada was faced with the question, what will happen to the moment when you die? His answer came back immediately, I will never die. All the guests and devotees cheered, and Prabhupada continued, I will live in my books. Summer Sessions with Srila Prabhupada, Back to Godhead magazine, 1975.
So Prabhupada lives in his books. So when we are reading Prabhupada books, we are directly associating with Prabhupada and his Vani. So it's very, very nice. Okay, a few more. Someone else who have not read as yet.
I wish to encourage all my disciples to very carefully learn this philosophy. In January of 1970, we will be holding an examination among all of our students on this book, and those who will pass shall be awarded with the little title of Bhakti Sastri. With these examinations, I wish to encourage all my disciples to be very carefully learn this philosophy of Krishna consciousness, because there are so many preachers who will be required to bring this message to all of the corners of the earth. Later.
Thank you, Mataji. So Prabhupada is saying there are so many preachers required, and without reading Prabhupada books, it's very hard to preach. Yeah, Prabhupada wanted us to know his books like a lawyer knows his books. So Prabhupada was so willing that you should be able to quote verses like left, right, center and prove your point very nicely. Not that what I feel, no Shastra says like that, Acharya says like that. Okay, next one. Who has not read as yet?
Become all good preachers, and that depends on studying the books nicely. I am very pleased that you are inclined to read and study our books with seriousness. Thank you very much. So continue with wholeheartedly. We want good preachers also. Preaching should not depend on me only. My disciples should become all good preachers, and that depends on studying the books nicely so that you can arrive at the right conclusion. Letter to Hariyananda, Los
Hridyananda.
Angeles, 1971.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Next one.
I'm happy to read. We need so many preachers who are soundly versed in the scriptures. I'm glad to see how nicely you're reading my books. Please continue to do this. We need so many preachers who are soundly versed in the scriptures to convince the world to take to Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Mataji. This is the goal of this whole mission, isn't it? We want to make every single soul Krishna conscious. So first we have to become Krishna conscious and take the message. And for that, reading is extremely important. Yes, someone else can read the last one.
I want that all of my spiritual sons and daughters inherit this title of Bhaktivedanta. One who will pass this examination will be awarded with the title of Bhaktivedanta. I want that all of my spiritual sons and daughters will inherit this title of Bhaktivedanta, so that the family transcendental diploma will continue through the generations. This is my program. So we should not simply publish these books for reading by outsiders, but our students must be well versed in all our books so that we can be prepared to defeat all opposing parties in the matter of self-realization. Letter to Hamsa Dut, Los Angeles, 3rd January 1969.
Thank you, Mataji. So Prabhupada is saying it's not just for distribution, it's for reading as well. Many times we are very good in convincing others about the philosophy, but we ourselves are not convinced because we're not reading nicely. So yeah, it's very important. What is the overall purpose of the systematic Shastric study? Prabhupada says to nurture the evolution of a Brahmanical Krishna conscious leadership whose members are expert in the study and assimilation of Shastric knowledge and are proficient in its application. Again, Prabhupada is emphasizing on the application part again and again in their own lives, in helping others, and in perpetuating the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So it's very, very important to read nicely, apply nicely, and then we can preach nicely as well. As a famous quote, Prabhupada said, books are the basis, purity is the force, preaching is the essence, utility is the principle. Now, I see Ghanshyam Govinda Prabhuji is here. So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for joining us. He has just finished another class and he's back to this class. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, we just went around just getting to know each other, as many students didn't know each other. Now we've just read some Prabhupada quotes, and now we are here on the main topic, which is the 12 aims of systematic Shastric study, and Ghanshyam Prabhu will expand on that. So, Prabhu, I'll put it on the screen. If you want to have something else, let me know.
You can bring up the whole thing, Prabhuji.
Sure.
Firstly, Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. It's so heartening to see, I think, 31 of you at 7:51 p.m. on a Wednesday. Don't you have any other better work to do on a weekday? Thank you very much. I can see almost 1/3 of you. I think I was speaking to Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu this evening. We have about 10 or 11 devotees from Gopinath's youth. And I told Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu that they always keep me on the toes, so get ready to answer their questions. So please keep up the name of Gopinath's youth and don't let Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu go free.
Yeah.
Bombard him with questions. That's how we learn. So,
and if you don't know, we'll come to you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. So thank you all very much for taking this very important step in our spiritual lives. I always say I can categorize the devotees mainly into two types. One category is those devotees who take up chanting and reading Prabhupada's books seriously. And the second one is those who don't. And we have Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu here, very experienced teacher. I'll come to him later. Prabhu can actually vouch for it. Prabhu has been here longer than any one of us here, more than 20, 22 years. I'm here part of this yatra for close to, I think, 20 years now, 19 years. If we look back over the last, those many years, we can clearly put devotees in one of these two categories. And we can vouch based on our experience, personal experience, as well as our observation. Whoever took up chanting and reading Prabhupada's books seriously, they alone progress in every sense. The other categories of devotees, they struggle with the sadhana, they struggle with the practice of bhakti themselves. Many of them, they fizzle out along the way, and others totally become karmis also. Surprise, surprise. So it's extremely important that we have taken up the process of Krishna consciousness, following 4 regulative principles. We have no problem with that. Chanting 16 rounds, we have no problem with that. You take reading Prabhupada's books as the 5th principle. But unlike the other 4 don'ts, take this as the second do. Prabhupada says initiation means it's 4 don't and 1 do. 4 don't is no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. And 1 do is chanting 16 rounds. You take this as the second do, which is reading Prabhupada's books. In fact, Prabhupada didn't like the word reading. Prabhupada said, I want my disciples to study. By the way, disciples means we are all his disciples, Siksha disciples. So Prabhupada said, I want my disciples to study my books, not just reading. Reading means you read a newspaper, you read magazine, you read a website, But studying means you really put your effort there. Prabhupada says that I want all ISKCON devotees to be able to quote Shastra as much as a lawyer would do quoting the law book. That's how much well-versed we should be when it comes to studying. So the emphasis for Shastric study cannot be repeated enough number of times. It cannot be stressed enough, the importance. But please make the effort so you will always remain happy. Difficulties will come, but we can be rock steady. That's why I'm saying, if I turn back the pages of ISKCON history in last 20 years, only those devotees who put their effort to study Prabhupada's books seriously, they alone actually weathered the storm. And there is only a handful of them, unfortunately, which means most didn't take it seriously. So when we studied, Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu and me, I'm not putting Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu or myself on par with Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu, but at least people in our age group. There was no Bhakti Shastri online at that time. If you want to do Bhakti Shastri, you have to travel to India to do. That's how I did in 2011. I spent 4-5 months in Mayapur studying. Facility wasn't there. Because Sydney never had the opportunity to have qualified Bhakti Shastri teachers here. There were classes going on. It was only after 2016, 2017 and 2018 we started actually first we started with the scripture study class in 2018, late 2018. Some of you were there, part of that. And 2019 we started our first Bhakti Shastri batch. Since then we have completed 5 batches. So this is the 6th one that you're all very fortunate to be part of. So understand something which was not so easily accessible even until 2018. It is accessible here. And you have the best teacher with you. Now coming to Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu. I'm very fortunate to have a long-standing relationship with him. As I said, close to 19 years. We both were working in the city, even now. Prabhu works for Commonwealth Bank, Prabhu, now. So Prabhu works for there. We both would catch the same bus. We both lived close to North Sydney Temple only, here. And I would catch the bus one stop before. I would get on the bus and I would be reading. One pocket says Bhagavad Gita for the first time. And I would see Prabhu sitting in the front, few seats ahead. He would get in the next stop and he would be reading Prahlad Maharaj's prayers. I still remember the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So over the years, I have always seen Prabhu, admired him, how much effort he puts and how much he studies, he prepares. Despite him knowing so much, he prepares so much. Like the scripture study class which I gave, I took his advice in 2018 that, Prabhu, we need to do something for the Shastric study. We are not starting the Bhakti Shastri course yet, but at least we need to bring the habit of regularly reading, at least to discuss in Shastras. So I'm planning to do just like a summary study of all the 4 books. So how should I prepare? How long should I prepare? Because the aim was to finish one Bhagavad Gita chapter every week. I asked him. Then he told me casually, yeah, if you have to do that, then you have to study 10 hours. I'm like, Prabhu? He said like, yeah, you have to prepare for 10 hours. Otherwise, you can't do justice for Bhagavad Gita. And devotees come attending your class expecting to learn something. If you don't go with that level of respect, then you can't teach them anything. And I took it to heart, thankfully. And I did actually put that much effort, going through every chapter 3 times during those 10 hours for every week. And I'm so thankful to him that he gave me that advice. After I finished teaching, whether others benefited or not, I don't know, but I benefited. So reason why I'm saying is that we need to put effort. There is no shortcut for hard work. We need to put the effort. Repetition is the mother of learning. So the more we study, more we study, I'm carefully choosing the word, more we discuss, more we associate, more we remember what we discuss, more we will be able to go deep in our bhakti, more this knowledge will actually become part of our nature, and more we'll be of some use in the hands of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. So these three categories of aims, actually there are 12 aims in this, we'll go through that shortly. But rule number one, I remember saying this at the beginning of every Bhakti Shastri batch when I go, don't worry, you won't see me again. I always go only to the very first class in every batch.
We'll bring you again, Prabhu.
So I said this in the last batch also with Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu. Some of you are there. From the previous batch also I can see some faces here. Don't study Bhakti Shastri to get a certificate. If you want certificate, I will give you tomorrow. That's not the goal of Bhakti Shastri. Bhakti Shastri's goal, if you can develop the habit of taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada's books at the end of this course, that's an achievement. And one thing, let me be clear, none of you will fail the course. There are devotees who would be delayed until they finish their attendance. So 75% attendance is mandatory, and we are serious about it. Even from previous batches, some devotees couldn't do, we had to hold them, so they won't be getting the certification, basically. So attendance is compulsory, definitely, 75%. We have shloka test, we have open book assignment, and we have closed book test. Now, closed book test only, I'm saying you will never fail. Closed book tests are always one-liner or multiple choice questions only. I framed those questions. They are all framed to just test your understanding. That's it. I framed it in such a way that all of you will pass anyway. So don't worry about passing. Passing is not a great achievement. Like you have to be a total illiterate to fail this. So it's like that. So passing the course or getting certification, put that aside. That's not the goal of Bhakti Shastri. The worthy goal that you can aspire for is how much you can take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's books, because we are just starting in our serious Shastric study. I'm doing Bhakti Vibhava course in Mayapur Institute. Every week it's compulsory for us to attend 6 hours of class, 3 hours on Saturday, 3 hours on Sunday, and it goes really fast paced. Like in the week to catch up with that, again 10 hours, I have to read that long. Otherwise I will miss out on, because every week they'll finish one chapter in Bhagavatam. So I have to put that much effort. But you put the effort, you will see. You think, you talk, it'll just come. Naturally, it'll come. So it's only once you get to study. You can study other times, but only once you will study seriously, and that is this time. So please take it to your heart. Put aside all your other commitments, services. I was texting one of the youth today, forget about all the other classes. You flunk my class. If you are giving class, give up that also, no problem. But do this one big favor for you. It will help you big time in your own journey. And through you, Gopinath will be able to preach to so many other people. So understand, we are coming here raw, but then allow Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu, allow Prabhupada, allow Sri Sri Radha Gopinath to sculpt us. So when we come out of this, we become a really powerful instrument in the hands of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. So that's what this Shastric study is capable of doing. So please take it to your heart. And Shastric study never stops. Once Srila Prabhupada tells to one of his disciples, when he looks at all the print, he told to Prabhupada, we will never be able to finish this in our lifetime. Prabhupada chuckles and he says, that's the whole point. I am writing more for you to last for next 3 births. So you will never come to the end of it. And initially when we look at these books, it will be little scary. But as we start to read, first gear is always difficult. But once you start to get into that, you will see it. Whether you like it or not, the Shastras themselves will drag us. They will actually carry us forward. This is Krishna. This book will talk to you. This book will emote with you. This book will reciprocate with you. And these books will actually help you grow. It will be the fuel for your growth, so to speak. So please do take this once in a lifetime opportunity. As I said, you will never come back again to study Bhagavad Gita systematically. It's only once you are going to study, put the effort here, seriously. And as I said, Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu, I have attended his classes in the past. I know him for close to 20 years now, and I know the amount of effort he puts, how much preparation he does, how much he thinks to actually communicate in a way that is easy to understand as well as easy to remember. So all you have to do is just be present. That's all. And as I said, we have assignments, we have exams, but nobody will fail the course. But if you don't attend the class, you won't actually go past your certification, basically. So that's one thing we are strict about it. We will go through these readings. Can I ask one of you to read the first two aims, knowledge and understanding of Bhakti Shastras?
To help students memorize and recall the knowledge that forms the foundation of their progress in Krishna consciousness. Number two, to deepen students' understanding of the theology of Krishna consciousness, particularly through studying it from a wide range of perspectives and through developing thoughtfulness and introspection.
Thank you. I think Anand Prabhu is joining us from Adelaide. Anand Krishna Das. Thank you. He was the last student to register. He registered like 15 minutes before the course started. Thank you for joining, for registering. So the first aim is categorized as knowledge and understanding of Bhakti Shastras. Krishna says, whoever studies Bhagavad Gita, istasyamiti me matihi. They worship me with their intelligence. Shastras are very important because they help us revive our lost memories of Krishna. So when we read these Shastras, simply when we recite it, you go to sometime you come for the Homa, when you see, some Pujari reciting the mantras, you will feel very happy just hearing. You may not understand the meaning, but it just feels good. Sometimes you go to the Kirtan, some bhajan, you may not know the meaning, but it feels good. Sound vibration, spiritual sound vibration has got its potency. And we have a couple of musicians also here. I see Sushant here, I see Premananda Kirtan here, student of music. So if you come on a Friday evening, whole afternoon, Premanand Prabhu will sit and play flute for Radha Gopinath. You can come on any Friday afternoon. He'll give you a free flute show. He can play tabla, he can play so many music instruments. But you may not understand music, but you can just close your eyes and you can meditate. Sometimes I go to sleep. I work in a room nearby when I hear his music. Shastra's spiritual sound has got its potency. Simply by repeating it, simply by hearing it, it nourishes our heart, watering the devotional creeper. Intellectually, it satisfies us so much. There are a lot of questions we have, but simply hearing it, we may not even have thought about those questions, how to ask or how to frame those questions, who to ask or anything. But this knowledge themselves, they will come and they will wipe out the whatever doubts, whatever questions that we have. So the first two aims, if you see, first is to memorize and recall the knowledge. Very important. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that when a new devotee starts to practice bhakti, at that time we don't have much realization, and it's a very tricky position to be in for most of us. Because on one hand, we know material life is not my thing. It's not going to give me any happiness. So we have kicked it away. But then this side, we haven't got hold of it strong because it takes its own sweet time. This transition is a dangerous time, so to speak. We can fall through the cracks very easily. So what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says is, at this transition time, when we all have got a negative experience about material life, we have given it up. And now we are stretching our hand to reach out to the lotus feet of Radha Gopinath. But still, willpower is very weak. Our conditioning is actually pulling us, draining us down. Conviction is also not very strong. What if there is no such a person called Krishna? We have all those doubts. What if all of these things are made up? You know that story of Prabhupada, right? Once Prabhupada asks one of his disciples, you play devil's advocate. You play like an atheist. So then the person tells to Prabhupada, what if there is no such person called Krishna? What if all of this is just some hocus pocus? It's just a outcome of someone's imagination. Aren't we just wasting our time? Because none of us have seen Krishna anyway. Nice question. Prabhupada encouraged it. Prabhupada said, all right, let's play devil's advocate. Let's go by your argument that there's no such person called Krishna. Still, you chant, you might just like how you sing some movie music, you sing Krishna's name. You have good time, come together, instead of going to party, just to be with the like-minded people, have some nice tasty food, and then you die. And at the end, because there is no such person called Krishna, as per your argument, you will also get the same destination as others. So what's the loss anyway? And then Prabhupada says, but what if there is a person called Krishna? What if he actually wrote this book called Bhagavad Gita? What if there is a place called the spiritual world? And what if Krishna consciousness is the only way to go back to Godhead? Prabhupada says, in that case, all of us will go to Goloka Vrindavan at the end, you all will go to hell. So Prabhupada, very strong in his argument. So, point we have to understand is, we all have the doubts. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, mind throws all of those. What if there is no such person called Krishna? Krishna is smiling. But any statue I can actually sculpt like that will smile at me. Mind will throw. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, during the neophyte stage, a sadhaka borrows the intelligence of the guru, borrows the realization of the guru. We don't have that realization, we don't have the conviction. But when we hear from Prabhupada, when we hear from other devotees, when we hear from senior devotees like Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu, we get the knowledge. That's one aspect only. More than knowledge, what we get is the faith of the person, faith of the speaker we get. That's the major difference between reading a book by ourselves and hearing and getting taught by someone else, learning from someone else. When we read it on our own, we will get only the knowledge aspect. But when we hear it from someone, along with the knowledge, we will also get the faith of that person. And that's very important. That's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says as borrowing the conviction, borrowing the realization. So these books, purports and everything, they are written by Srila Prabhupada simply by reading them, studying them, surrendering ourselves to them. These books are so exalted that even Srila Prabhupada used to hear his own books being read out by his disciples. And when one of his disciples told Prabhupada, jokingly, Prabhupada, but you have written all this, why are you hearing? We don't know anything, that's why we are hearing your book or reading your book. Prabhupada said, no, I didn't write this, Krishna wrote this. Prabhupada himself has actually written in his letters, when I have time, I keep on reading my own books like that. So it's very important that we develop that appreciation that this book is not just giving me knowledge, not just understanding, but it also giving me the faith, deepening my faith in the Shastra, deepening my faith in the practice of Krishna consciousness. Someone else can read Application of Bhakti Shastras, the next 4 quotes.
To help students apply Krishna consciousness in their external practices and their inner development, and to help them develop Vaishnava qualities and behavior. To enhance students' desires and ability to preach effectively. To help build and maintain students' faith and conviction in the process of Krishna consciousness and in the Shastra as its foundation. To create learned Vaishnava theologians who are expert in assisting society through application of Shastric knowledge to a wide range of wide range of personal, social, moral, topical, and theological issues.
Thank you. Application of Bhakti Shastras. We study something in theory. How are we going to put that into practice? Bhagavad Gita will teach you philosophy. It will teach you the application as well. But 2 other books that's part of this course exclusively focuses on application of the Shastras. One is Nectar of Devotion and second is Nectar of Instruction. Prabhupada said Nectar of Devotion is incarnation of Srimati Radharani. And Krishna book is incarnation of Krishna himself. So you will get to read from a book which Srila Prabhupada himself has said as the incarnation of Srimati Radharani, which is Nectar of Devotion. And this syllabus of 4 books, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and Ishopanishad, this syllabus was actually framed by not Srila Prabhupada. Surprise, surprise. His Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he made Bhakti Shastri degree, and he said people have to study, devotees have to study these 4 books in order to get the degree of Bhakti Shastri. So the application of Bhakti Shastras, we will be studying, but we'll also be reading. I was once in Perth few years ago, and I was talking to one person, one devotee who's like new. And then I asked him, so what's your level of practice? He said like, yeah, I'm chanting, but I'm following Ekadashi. And I was like nodding my head. And he said, I get regular email from Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu. If you are in Australia, and if you have started practicing Krishna consciousness in the last 20 years, and if you don't know about Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu's Ekadashi email, you must be from Mars. So any technical questions, we always go to him. Practice of Bhakti. Application of Bhakti Shastras. What good or what use is knowledge if it can't be put into practice? So these books won't just give us knowledge and faith, which is good, but it will also help us build a devotional career. That is our material career, which we are studying side by side. But we also have our devotional career. Material career will stop at some point of time. Believe it or not, it will. All the effort we have been putting since our childhood, from kindergarten all the way to where we are now. Some of us are students, some of us are working. You may work till 60. First 60 years of our life, whatever effort that's put will stop at 60 years. At 60 years, nobody cares what degree you have. Nobody cares how many exams you failed. Nobody cares how much accolades you received in your university. Whether you're gold medalist, silver medalist, bronze medalist, nobody cares. Stops. After 60, your number 1 problem in life will be your health. And number 2, after you die, the number 1 problem will be the soul. So we have to understand the material life is actually teaching people spending the major amount of their life just in doing something which has a shelf life, which will finish right at 60. You cannot go find a job after when you are 60. Very difficult. So application of Bhakti Shastras, why it is important? This knowledge that we are studying, it won't stop at 60, not at 70, not even after you die. There is Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a whole planet called Parthasarathi Loka. Krishna, do you know that? Krishna speaks eternally Bhagavad Gita there to Arjuna. And Shastras say that Bhishma Dev, he is there also eternally, fighting with Krishna. Krishna created that world for him. That's why that whole world is known as Parthasarathi Loka. Always they fight. But nobody will feel the pain because it's spiritual world. They'll shoot arrows will pierce, but nobody will die either. Everyone is in spiritual body. It's fun. But there Arjuna's questions start from where it finishes here. Arjuna's questions there is, Krishna, I'm already happy. Please tell me how I can be more happy. So this is eternal science. So application of Bhakti Shastras, it won't just help us wade through the challenges that life throws at us in this life until we are 60, while we are working, while we are hale and healthy, but even beyond also. After some time, our body will actually stop listening to us. After some time, maybe, God forbid, our memory may actually go away. After some time, we may be even, if some situation happens, we may even be immobile. But what will go with us all along is just the holy name of the Lord and the knowledge that we actually gain as part of the practice of bhakti. Okay, so application of Bhakti Shastras. And the more we try to practice at least a little, to put that into practice in our day-to-day lives, more our spiritual consciousness, our spiritual body will get shaped. Just like people go to gym to lift weights, to chisel their body to gain some shape. Similarly, the more we study, more we memorize verses, more we recite, more we discuss, more our spiritual body also will regain its strength. It will come to its shape. So the more we get old, more hale and healthy, more strong we'll become. And we'll be ready to embrace death. That's why it is said that devotees, they die even before they die. Which means material body is already gone. They are beyond material consciousness. Kapila Dev says that my pure devotees, they engage in so much intense devotional service, so much so they are too busy to even notice that they are changing the body. That's how busy they are. So that's what application of Shastras is capable of doing. But in order for us to apply, we need to take, we need to hear. Chanakya Pandit says, I always quote this, when you do austerity, you do alone. When you study Shastras, you do in twos. Kirtan, you do in threes. And when you travel, you do in fours. Shastras, he never said you have to study alone. Prabhupada himself warns about this in Srimad Bhagavatam. In one of the purports, Prabhupada says, if somebody thinks I have Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada is talking about his own book. If somebody thinks I have Srimad Bhagavatam and I can read on my own, Prabhupada said, no, you will come to the wrong impersonal conclusion, even after reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada always encouraged devotees to come together, study, discuss Shastras. That is how it is supposed to be learned. Chanakya Pandit says you study Shastras in twos so that you can always discuss. Bodhayanta Parasparam. Krishna also says that. You enlighten one another like that. Okay, someone else can read the last section. Values in Bhakti Shastras.
To cultivate within devotee our whole heart acceptance of the spiritual authority of Shastra, our mode of inquiry and our desire to understand and realize the import of Vedic knowledge. Number 8, to help a student develop analytical, interpretative and evaluative skills, particularly in the practical application of Shastric knowledge. Number 9, to help students understand and appreciate the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada and to perpetuate that understanding within the ISKCON society. Number 10, to ensure that the students develop moral and academic integrity in the interpretation, evaluation, and application of Shastric knowledge. Number 11, to encourage students to take responsibility for their learning and develop healthy study habits by enhancing their desire to study Srila Prabhupada's book and to equip them with appropriate learning skill. Number 12, to equip students with the ability to see through the eyes of Shastra and with a Krishna consciousness worldview. Ultimately, to help a student to realize scripture and see Krishna at all times and in all places.
Thank you. Srila Rupa Goswami says, the whole path of Krishna consciousness can be summed up in one line. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Smartavya satatam Vishnu, Vishmartavya najatuchit. Sarve vidhi nisedyasyur, eteyor eva kinkara. Every other rule of the Shastras is the servant of, kinkara means servant. Every rule of the Shastra is the servant of this one rule, which is Smartavya satatam Vishnu. Smartavya means to remember, satatam, always Vishnu. Vishmartavya najatuchit. Always remember Krishna. That's the rule number 1. Rule number 2, never forget Krishna. They both are same, but it is said to emphasize. There is nothing beyond that. So the purpose of studying Shastras is to inculcate those values. All of us, we do devotional service. Radhanath Maharaj says that there is a difference between how a neophyte or somebody who is a beginner doing devotional service and when a pure devotee does devotional service. They both do the same thing. Sometimes he may come to temple, some devotee may give class. He may sit there and say, I know more things than this devotee. Or some devotee may sit and sing kirtan. Oh, I can sing better than this. We may think like that. But the point is, activity may be the same. But what determines who is more advanced, that depends on who is pleasing Krishna more. So Radhanath Maharaj says, pure devotees, because they have cultivated all the devotional qualities, whatever they do will bring pleasure to Krishna. Now people in our neophyte stage, if we think I can do things better, we already lost the plot there. Because the whole point here is not to compete with anyone. Whole point here is to please Krishna. And to please Krishna, we have to inculcate these values as part of our value system. So you study Shastra and you see Arjuna is surrendering. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, because Bhaktoshime Shakacheti, Rahasam hi etadutamu, because you are my friend and you are my devotee, I am giving you this knowledge. Okay, I also should become friend and devotee of Krishna. Now you have learned something. Now you are taking that inspiration from Arjuna and now you are imbibing that as part of your value system. And you live by that. So next day you get up, I want to cook something. Okay, Krishna said I have to be his friend and I have to be his devotee. Okay, let me see what is best for him. Tomorrow I'm going here, one of my karmi friends is tempting me to go somewhere. No, I'm a friend of Krishna. That's application. That's cultivating values. So everything we study, whatever little that we get, we can take it. Once one of the youth was telling me, I hear so many things, I don't know which one to follow. I told him, when you go to a class, you just go with this conviction. Today I will learn one thing from this class and I will practice it as long as I remember. That may be for next 2 days. You do like that. You will improve much more vastly. You will improve so much more when you go with that aim rather than just going there sitting, next 2 hours, what am I going to do? How am I going to stay awake? Then you lost it already. So you go enthusiastically, ask questions. That's what makes it interesting. Asking questions is not doubting. Asking questions is a sign of sincerity. So if you really want to keep the class exciting, ask. There is one challenge you will find online in comparison to face-to-face. Pretty much this is the view, how you will be. In my screen, I can see 6 of you. What the remaining 25 of you are doing, I've got no idea. 26 of you doing, I have no idea because it's outside, screen will be shared now. So the only way how you can communicate with me, which is the speaker now, it is by putting the hand up, asking, answering, come prepared, do your homework before coming to the class, and then you ask questions. When we do that, when somebody asks questions, Bhagavatam says 3 people benefit. The person who is asking, person who is answering, and everyone else who is hearing. 3 people. So it's our responsibility. The more you ask, sometimes this thought may cross your mind. If I keep asking questions, others may think I have this friend bencher attitude. You'll always have those 2-3 friends in your school days who will always know answer for all questions which the teacher asks. I'm somewhere in the middle only. I was never backbencher nor in the front also. So we may think like that, but actually it's not. We need to show that enthusiasm. We need to understand we are collectively learning something here. Teacher also learns. We learn from the teacher. Teacher also learns every single time, because this is a boon which is given by Sandipani Muni to Krishna and Balaram. You know the story of how once Sandipani Muni sent Krishna and Balaram to Krishna and Sudama actually to pick wood for the sacrifice. They both go, but they got caught in a storm. So they take shelter of a tree. And then next day morning, when Sandipani Muni comes and sees both of them, he becomes very pleased with them. Later on, when the Gurukula time got over, at that time, Krishna and Balaram came and asked for Guru Dakshina, what they can offer. And then Sandipani Muni says, if you can bring back my lost son. So then he goes, they go bring back the lost son. At that time, if you read that section, Sandipani Muni gives the boon to both Krishna and Balaram. You have pleased me so much, I am your spiritual master. I bless you that whatever you speak will always remain fresh. Point number 1. Point number 2, whatever you speak will always bring newer and newer meanings. He gives the boon. So Bhagavad Gita, nobody can come to the end of it. Same verse, same Gita, every single day you open, you will always get newer and newer realizations. And it's very important because this is how Gopinath talks to us. If you think Krishna is not some personality up there. He is here in North Sydney. North Sydney is our Vrindavan. Radha Gopinath are here. You want to know what Gopinath wanted to communicate to you? Open this book and read Bhagavad Gita. You want to know what our Srimati Radharani wants to tell you? Open Nectar of Devotion and read. So you can make it more personal that way. Now, when you make it personal, you will take it seriously. You imbibe the knowledge. You cultivate the qualities, whatever that the knowledge brings to you. Try your best. Going back to that point. Yes, we hear so many things. More we hear, more we forget also. Yes. But go to every class trying to learn one thing, which you have the conviction. I'll write it down and I'll follow. How long? Maybe I'll remember for one day, half a day, half an hour. But let me follow. You try to keep doing it over a period of time. You will start to imbibe and then you won't forget after that. Okay. So aims of systematic Shastric study. As you can see, they are manifold. There are many aims. But fundamentally, you bring up this conviction that I will read Srila Prabhupada's books. I will develop this habit of studying Srila Prabhupada's books sincerely. I'll finish with this point. I tried this when I came to Sydney to try to read. Devotees, they told me you can read just one verse every day. I tried, it didn't work. Some days you are tired, you just sleep. Some days, you're already feeling sleepy, you look at the book, it's like, no, I'll read it tomorrow. What's the point in reading like that? And then you forget for next 3 weeks. Then one day I was praying to Gopinath. And then Gopinath gave me instantly one idea. I will every day touch the book and I will open. That's all my commitment. And I told to Gopinath, this is good idea. I will do it from today. And this happened in 2007, early 2007. So every day I'll just go touch the book, open the book. That much I'll do. Trust me, you will understand our biggest trouble is not reading. Our biggest trouble is going and touching the book. Once you pick the book, you won't put it down. Once you pick the book, you will read at least a few lines and do. From 2007, early 2007 till date, I follow that practice. No matter how tired I am, and I can count with my one hand how many times I would have missed it. 2-3 times I didn't have access to book, still I'll open my mobile, Pocket Veda, and I'll read. But what this habit helped me is, it helped me to stay in touch with the book all the time. Many times we forget about it. You have exam, doesn't matter. Like a college exam, uni exam, you have work, you have festival, doesn't matter. Just pick the book, open it, 10 seconds, close, put it down. Just have that simple habit. I will touch the book every single day and I'll open and I'll read something. And that reading can be half a line, one line. I started like that. First time for me to read Bhagavatam, I bought it in 2006. I finished reading first time in 2014. In last 11 years, I read Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita and all Bhakti Sastri books 5 times. All it takes is just that one single step, little bit. It looks simple, but try. It worked for me. Idea I cannot claim, that's why I told Gopinath gave. So try to touch the book, open the book every day. You may not be able to read it. Just open and read just one line, one word. That much you do, you will stay in touch with the book. But the moment you leave it like on the shelf, it will keep looking at you, you will keep looking at it, nothing will happen. I'll stop there. Thank you very much, Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu, for giving them your valuable time. And you all are very fortunate to have gotten the very best teacher we have in Sydney. Prabhu's knowledge is not just theoretical, it's digested. You can adjust your calendar. If you want to know Ekadashi, you close your eyes, you come to Mangalarati. I know one person will be there, and I know that person for 19 years. Mangalarati, Ekadashi, Hemanga Caitanya will be there in the temple all the time. And it's not just sadhana. In our spiritual seekers days, our youthful days, we will do service. Sometimes there won't be prasad. Prabhu will take us to his apartment to cook for us. We will sleep there actually. He'll wake us up, cook, serve us, and then he'll allow us to sleep. So he has always been a personality, a brotherly figure for all of us. And I'm so happy especially with the youth, like, we have 10, 11 of you taking it seriously. I was telling Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu, you have got the cream of our youth group actually. Every single person who is here, who is preaching, one way or the other, 5 of them are hardcore preachers, fanatical preachers. So, I was telling Hemanga Caitanya Prabhu, you have got very good students, and I'm telling all the students, you have got the best teacher. And I can personally vouch for that. Thank you all very much for taking Shastric study seriously. As I said, next 2.5 years, just give your time fully to this. And trust me, your life won't be the same. Your life, your progress in Krishna consciousness will be catapulted, and you will see how strong your spiritual muscles become in another 2.5 years. But give yourself wholeheartedly. Bhagavad Gita is one book you will never feel tired of. I still read every single day, one verse at least. We do this because these are words of Krishna, directly spoken by Gopinath. Okay, if you take it personally that way, as I said, the words will emote, the words will speak to you. The book, you can have a relationship with that book. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ghanshyam Prabhuji. Very, very nice. I was feeling so inspired to read myself a little bit more. Ghanshyam Prabhu is very good in glorifying. I don't know whom he was glorifying as Hemanga Caitanya. I don't know that person.
I think I know.
You may know, Prabhu. I wish to meet that Hemanga Caitanya. That nothing sounds like me. Prabhu has always been very, very encouraging, and my knowledge is not digested. As you can see, Ghanshyam Govinda Prabhu going to temple, what, around 20 years. He's serving Gopinath directly for last, I don't know, probably 17 years or something. He left his job, he went to India, he did a lot of studies, and then he's serving full-time in the temple for at least 15 years, maybe a little bit more. I'm still sitting at my home. So Prabhu is very, very good in glorification, but yeah, I'm very, very far. But thank you, Prabhu, for giving nice overview of why we should read Srila Prabhupada books, and especially serious studies, because it will change our life for sure. And as Prabhu said, we have seen many devotees coming in and out, and whoever have studied well, they stayed back, and others, many of them struggled a lot. So all of you, you are here, wonderful opportunity to study Srila Prabhupada books together. And I'm sure it will bring big change in all of our life. And as Ghanshyam Prabhu was saying, all of us are learning. I'm also learning. You're also learning. We're sharing each other's learning, and it's very nice to study together. Okay, I'll just move to the next slide. These 4 Shastrika studies is a very important letter of Srila Prabhupada, which he wrote to Swarup Damodar in 1976, where he personally writes about 4 Shastric degrees. And Ghanshyam Prabhu, thank you for sharing. I didn't know that Bhakti Shastri came from his Guru Maharaj, so Saraswati Prabhupada. So that's very nice. So let's read Prabhupada letter quickly. Anyone would like to read who hasn't read as yet? We prefer that person, so everyone can participate. Anyone?
Prabhu,
Yes,
I can read.
please, Mataji.
My dear Swarup Damodar, please accept my blessings. I beg to thank you for your letter dated December 26, 1975, and I have noted the contents carefully. Your plan to have the Bhakti Vedanta Summer Institute in one of our farms is a very good idea. Brahman means Pandit. Therefore, I'm suggesting examinations, Bhakti Shastri, for all the Brahmanas, based on Bhagavad Gita, Sri Ishopnishad, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and all the small paperbacks. Bhakti Vaibhav, the above, plus first 6 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhakti Vedanta, the above, plus Canto 7 to 12 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhakti Sarvabhauma, the above, plus Chaitanya Charitamrita. These titles can correspond to entrance, BA, MA, PhD. So just consider how to organize this institute. At Mayapur, we shall finalize everything. Hoping this meets you well, your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Letter to Swarup Damodar, Bombay, 10th January 1976.
It's a beautiful letter. Prabhupada is exactly saying what is Bhakti Shastri, what is Bhakti Vaibhav. So just putting the summary here. So then this Bhakti Shastri, we are reading these 4 books, and as Ghanshyam Prabhu was saying, he is doing Bhakti Vaibhav, which is the next course after this. So once you finish Bhakti Shastri, and many of the devotees here, they have finished Bhakti Shastri, and they're planning to do the next step. like Rasanand Prabhu and Vijayagopi Mataji also sitting there. So they are planning to this one, which is the first 6 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we have Bhakti Vedanta. In one of the previous letters of Prabhupada, he said, I want everyone to be Bhakti Vedanta. So when you talk about Prabhupada being Bhakti Vedanta, yes, and Prabhupada saying, I want all of you to become Bhakti Vedanta as well. This is technically speaking Bhagavatam's next 6 cantos, and the last one which we have in our ISKCON is Bhakti Sarvabhaum, which is the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't know how many Bhakti Sarvabhaum are there around the world. Ghanshyam Prabhu may know. I don't know. But there are not many of them. There are not many of them. Okay, so we'll just move forward. Now, this is our module structure of the Bhakti Shastri, as you can see. So there will be 6 modules. So 3 will be Bhagavad Gita modules. So chapter 1 to 6 is first module, 7 to 12 is module 2, and 13 to 18 is module 3. Then we'll have Sri Ishopanishad, then Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion. I've just put some rough ideas for the sessions. They may not be exactly same, but roughly around last batch, we did exactly 150 classes. It took around 3 years. And there will be revisions and assessments. After each module will appear for exam, as Ghanshyam Prabhu was saying, there's assignments and there's exam, but again, the goal is not just to pass the exam. As he was saying, everyone can pass the exam. But the goal is to seriously study these books and apply, change our value system, change how we see the world through our Shastra vision. The weightage, just very quickly, the open book assessment, which you'll all get tonight. So Sundar Gopal Prabhu will be sending few documents, sharing the documents in the WhatsApp group. So you can all see that. So MIHE guide, which I'll be sharing in a minute, will have everything. I'm just giving an overall structure, what you expected in terms of assessment. So open book assessment will be 30%, which is your assessment or assignment, which we're writing at home. Closed book assessment will be 40% at the end of each module. Shloka test, as Ghanshyam Prabhu was saying, we all have to learn some shlokas, and we will give you the list of all the shlokas. You just have to cram it or ideally apply it as well. And then on the exam day, we'll be doing a shloka test. And attendance, very important, 10% weightage in the overall weightages, and 75% of attendance is very important with your camera on. So if you don't put the camera on, technically we don't give you the attendance. 25% obviously we understand someone may have some family things, some holidays. Now we also take some holidays during the summer, so don't worry. So we are not like we will be going every week of the year, and when the festivals comes we try to reschedule the class. So we have ample of flexibility. At the same time, we want everyone to just come and just study together with each other. Pass marks in each assessment is 65%. So it's not our Indian system. In India, we only had 33% pass marks. If you get 33%, you are promoted to the next class, but here is 65%. So please put some nice effort there. Weightage of marks may change. I hope it will not, but sometimes may vary around 60, 70, 50 like that. Homework, as we were discussing earlier as well, we expect you, all of you, to study at least 2 hours a week. As Ghanshyam Prabhu was saying, start from at least one shloka. Just touch the book, open the book for 10 seconds, and it really works. I can also agree with Ghanshyam Prabhu. No matter how tired you are, even if you come back home midnight, just open the book, read one line and close. It really, really helps. And many days you will find I've come home very tired midnight, but sometimes I opened the book and could study actually quite peacefully that time as well. So it looks like we are very tired, but sometimes we may get absorbed and sometimes we may not. But overall, when we have this habit, it really helps on a long basis. So yeah, try to do at least 2 hours per week for this course and other studies, whatever you're doing currently and your other sevas. What qualities you can expect through this course and after the course. This is from students of the previous batches. So we've just put together this one. This is not from me, but it's very nice to read through. So what we can expect after this in our personality development, devotional personality development, attraction and attachment for reading Srila Prabhupada books, desire to preach and teach. So if you are not doing as yet, you will get the desire, because Prabhupada movement is preaching movement. Compassion for others, real compassion. Prabhupada said, I don't skin love you. I love you on the soul level. So your real compassion will come out, how to work in a team spirit. taste in chanting, japa, and in kirtans. I know there are some kirtaniers already in the group, but your taste will always enhance, because it's not about the skills which we are talking about. It's about pleasing Krishna, as Ghanshyam Prabhu was saying. That is the most important activity. Skills, okay, we may have it or we may not have it. Effectiveness in giving classes. If you can back up your classes, your point with the Shastric knowledge, with the shlokas, with some quotes of some acharyas, that makes it very, very effective and very powerful for the others. Deep friendship devotees, which will definitely develop throughout this course. Increase your relationship with Dham. We'll read in Nectar of Devotion, as Ghanshyam Prabhu was saying, incarnation of Srimati Radharani, how to have deeper relationship with Dham. And for us, our Dham is 180 Falcon Street, our Gopinath. So if you cannot go to Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, you can just go to 180 Falcon Street. And there's some devotees I know, they live 40 kilometers away. They visit Tempur at least once a day. So their traveling is like 2 hours, but they come for darshan every single day, no matter what happens. So they love our Dham, Gopinath Dham. Krishna conscious realizations will improve definitely when we study, when we start looking the world with our Shastra Chakshu, we'll see, oh, this is how Bhagavad Gita is saying. This is so true, so true. Bhakti Vinod Thakur actually says one of the preaching techniques is we break the faith in the material life. So if you're not able to break the faith in material life, we are not developing nicely in the spiritual life. So if we can break through, and the only way we can break through that faith is through reading Shastra. Eventually, the most important one, love for Srila Prabhupada's movement and previous acharyas and Krishna. So this is a perfect way of developing our ultimate goal of life, coming together, studying together, and reading Srila Prabhupada purports. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now, if anyone has any questions or comments at this stage, before I move forward, we can try to answer that. Any queries regarding the course? Okay, everyone understood everything? Everyone seems happy? Okay, now this quote I really love. This is by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. Okay, Supriya Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare
I
Krishna.
want to know how difficult it is and how easy it is.
How difficult it is, how easy it is. Ghanshyam Govind Prabhu, over to you.
How difficult and how easy is what?
The course means,
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
as I know, there is a Maharaj, Vrindavan Chandra Maharaj, who said to us that the time he prepared for the course, he wrote so many shlokas and it was difficult. So
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah. One thing we discussed, I was discussing this with one other Bhakti Shastri batch I was giving for Bahrain devotees, Balram Desh devotees. We discussed this even in the previous batch of Hemanga Caitanya Prabhus also. We are under Mayapur Institute. One of my favorite verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita is Katanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Shukaram Bhaved Vishmrite Viparitam Syat Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Even the most difficult things become very easy if we remember Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu somehow or other, and even the most easy things become very difficult if we somehow forget to do so. So because we are under Mayapur Institute, this course is very easy. It's Audaryadam. Everything is easy. The syllabus is easy. Passing the course, it's not a problem, Mataji. As I said, I say that openly just to set the perspective right for everyone, because sometimes the devotees are scared of exams, scared of sloka tests, scared of this. And I'm telling you, you can never, I can throw this as a challenge. I will pass you. You can never fail. So let's put it that way. That's how easy it is. But the aim of the course is going beyond just getting a certificate, beyond going around and saying, oh, I'm a Bhakti Shastri, like that. The aim of this is to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's books and go deeper, and making Srila Prabhupada's books, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, studying Srila Prabhupada's books as our daily habit. That's the goal. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Supriya Mataji, as Ganesha Prabhu said, it's a really easy course by mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mayapur Institute. No one will fail, and I've seen it last 3 years. Everyone could do very, very well. In the previous batches, actually, we had a higher standard by Ghanshyam Prabhu's mercy. This batch was really easy, and he has put very easy question papers as well, again, so that everyone can go through them easily. But yeah, we have to go beyond that degree sort of thing. Okay, this is setting the mood. This is by Radhanath Maharaj. I'll just quickly read that. We must cultivate philosophical knowledge in order to have a proper understanding by which we can proceed without being bewildered by the temptation of the world. To learn simply for the sake of accumulating knowledge is one of the greatest obstacles to spiritual advancement. So we are not learning just for the sake of knowledge and showing others our Bhakti Shastri degree. Maharaj was in Bhakti Shastri graduation ceremony and he was giving the degrees out of Bhakti Shastri. And in his talk, Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj said very clearly, when Yamaraj will come, you cannot show him your Bhakti Shastri degree. He will tear it off and still take you back. So it's not, we are going to use these degrees for that purpose, it's to change our heart. Otherwise, I think Radheshyam Prabhu was saying information, and no transformation is useless. So we have a lot of information in our head, but our heart is still the same. So the purpose is to change the heart. And this is just one of the ways to achieve that goal. Now, someone would like to read this one paragraph by Radhanath Maharaj. It's very beautiful.
Spiritual advance.
Sorry, I just have one question.
Yes, Mataji, you can go ahead.
Is this course really a 3-year course? Because I was in assumption it's a 1-year course.
Mataji, roughly it will take 3 years. 2 years in the last batch, 2 year Bhagavad Gita it took, and 1 year the other 3 books. 1 year doing Bhakti Shastri, you can do, as Ganesham Prabhu was saying, you have to live in Mayapur, and then you can do it like 4 months, Prabhu, if I'm not wrong, full-time study.
4.5 months.
4.5 months.
Meera, if you find this one, try attending this for a couple of weeks and see how it goes. If it doesn't work, you can join our Wednesday group. I saw your registration in the other group as well. I'll pull you in that one. That's more fundamental course.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, but here we are going to go through every single verse, Mataji. Yes. There are 700 verses and they are quite deep. So it will take roughly that amount of time. Yeah. Okay. Ayush Prabhu, you were reading earlier. Yes.
Spiritual advancement is not just about getting knowledge or even understanding. It is for getting mercy by which our desires get attracted to Krishna. If we just have an intellectual conception of spiritual life, wherein we think that once we know and understand, there is knowing when the knowledge enters through the ears, there is understanding when the knowledge enters through the brain, but there is realization when Krishna enters through the heart. Only when there is realization, our heart gets attracted to Krishna. When our heart gets attracted to Krishna, we can actually return back to Him, fully develop our love for Him, and return back to Him eventually. So we have to render service to SM or rep
spiritual
of
master,
spiritual
SM
master
spiritual
or rep of spiritual master, and through that we get grace, mercy, and that mercy is not something mysterious. That mercy is actually attraction towards Krishna. So
probably we'll stop here. So we keep talking about mercy, 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 but mercy is very nicely translated by Radhanath Maharaj is attraction towards Krishna. So it's not just, I got so much mercy, but then we relax for, 3 months and never see Radha Gopinath in those 3 months. So mercy means attraction towards Krishna. So before coming to a class or reading Prabhupada book, doing any seva, if your mercy was like, your spiritual realization was 2%, after that seva, your realization should grow. And that's what is called mercy. And after that seva, suppose you got very arrogant, very proud, actually your mercy got reduced. So we should have this very clear goal for doing anything, any seva, even our japa, reading, going to temple, having darshan, or doing any other seva, that we want to get mercy of Radha Gopinath, mercy of Vaishnavas, so that my attraction towards Krishna grows forward, not backwards, not attraction for my name and fame, how famous I am, how many followers I am. So that's not the goal. So mercy is very clearly defined by attraction towards Krishna, not towards other. So if we are achieving that goal by our little sevas as well, very nicely we are progressing. Yes, Aish Prabhu.
So if we need a personal connection with a disciplic succession, which will connect us to Krishna, so the flow is that knowledge comes down the disciplic succession. Service goes up the disciplic succession. Knowledge comes down from Krishna through parampara, through Guru to us. Then service goes from us to Guru to disciplic succession all the way to Krishna. Again, from Krishna comes grace or mercy through disciplic succession to us. Through that mercy, actually evokes our attraction to Krishna, and we can develop our personal relationship with Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So when we do any seva, as Maharaj is saying, our seva is offered to our spiritual master or Srila Prabhupada in this case, and then Prabhupada offers to his spiritual master, and then he offers to his spiritual master, and eventually seva goes back to Krishna. And when seva is received by Krishna in a proper mood, what Krishna does, sends the mercy down, again through the Guru Parampara. So we do seva for the pleasure of our acharyas, and then Krishna sends down the mercy, and this is how the relationship grows. And in that cycle, eventually our hearts get fully attracted towards Krishna, and we become perfect devotee and go back to Godhead. So this is the setting of the mood before we start the course. Now we will start from Srimad Bhagavad Gita preface. It's already 8:55, so I'll not start it today. We'll start next week, and we'll do preface introduction of Bhagavad Gita next week. And the following week, as I said, we'll start from chapter 1. Any other questions or comments before we go?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
I had one question. Since
Sure.
you mentioned like this is going to be a more deeper study, and Ghanshyam Prabhu also mentioned like how we need to dedicate a good amount of our time reading the books, especially the Bhagavad Gita. Do we still give the same level of intensity for like a personal sadhana? Like for example, in my personal sadhana, I'm reading Bhagavatam. So then, would you recommend doing that simultaneously, or keeping the personal at the side and then focusing mainly on what we discuss in Bhakti Shastri?
Okay, Prabhu, I'll let Ghanshyam Prabhu answer that because he knows your background more than me. I'll answer only in generic way. Yes, Ghanshyam Prabhuji.
So all of us, we like to read our own books, which we can still continue to read. It could be Krishna book. Like I like Chaitanya Charitamrita, but I don't have much time to read that now because my time goes in reading more Bhagavatam these days because of the course that I'm doing. But I still read teachings of Lord Chaitanya every day, little bit. That way I still stay in touch with Chaitanya Charitamrita. So just for this time, when you get a chance to go deeper in Bhagavad Gita, take advantage of it and go deeper. You don't need to stop reading Bhagavatam as long as you can read the 2 hours quota of Bhagavad Gita or whatever that's required for this course. It could be NOI, could be Ishopanishad, could be NOD, doesn't matter. So priority wise, first you finish your commitment to this course, then any extra time you have, feel free to read any other books, totally up to you. Or you may want to go deeper even in the same book. That's totally up to you. But priority wise, definitely this one needs to be given first.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
And it always helps to read other books as well while we are reading Bhagavad Gita, because Prabhupada also keeps referencing other topics and other books. So it's always nice if you have time. But yeah, prioritize yourself. That will be good. Anyone else have any other comments? Supriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, all classes will be online.
Yes,
and how
Mataji.
long it will be? 2 hours or?
Yeah, so every Wednesday we start at sharp 7 and we finish around 9, Mataji. That's our
Okay.
regular 95% of our classes will be like that, unless there's a festival on Wednesday. So we reschedule classes and we can just discuss whatever day is best suitable for most of us. We can reschedule that. And every class is also recorded. So Yash Prabhu and Sundar Gopal Prabhu will be publishing the recording of each class. So you can listen to the class later as well.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So we are just 2 minutes away from 9 o'clock. So I will give these 2 minutes back to you. So thank you again, everyone, for joining this course. Gopinath, as Ghanshyam Prabhu was saying, is very, very kind. Few years ago, we didn't have this opportunity. Now we have it. So take full advantage of it. And also thank you to all of you, especially to Ghanshyam Prabhu, for entrusting me for this seva. As I said, I'm very, very far from what Prabhu was explaining, but it's good to know where Prabhu wants me to see in few years. So Prabhu, I'll try. And please, all of you also give mercy. And yeah, keep in touch. And any other questions you have, you can also post it to myself directly or Sundar Gopal Prabhu as well. He has finished his course in the previous batch. He's fully aware of all the rules and regulations and technicalities. He looks after all the technical part. He creates all the reports and everything he does basically. So you can ask any question to him. Also, we have Yash Prabhu and Garima Mataji also to answer your question. And also Gansham Prabhu is there always, very accessible to answer our any other questions. Okay, we'll stop. Sundar Gopal Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu, just one request I wanted to make to everyone. So when you log in, please, if you can log in with your initiated name if you have one, or with your actual name. Names like iPhone or Samsung, the default names that appear, will not help us in recording your attendance and marking it accordingly. So that's my request for all of you. In case we've missed someone today